Hello everyone, it's Andrew and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm comparing the iPhone 11 to the iPhone 14 Pro. I'll share my thoughts at the end of the video if I think it's worth upgrading. But let's get right into the video with design. Both are almost the same in size and weight. The height of the 11 is 5.94 inches, width is 2.98 inches, and the depth is 0.33 inches. Surprisingly, the iPhone 14 Pro is a little bit smaller. The height is 5.8 inches, the width is 2.81 inches, and the depth is 0.31 inches. It does weigh more at 7.27 ounces, and the weight of the 11 is 6.84 ounces. The 14 Pro definitely feels heavier, but the bezel is a lot thinner when you look at the screen, and it feels a lot more compact even though you get the same kind of size on the device. The 11 has a curved back, and it does feel really good in hand. Both devices have the same buttons, but there's slight differences on the 14 Pro. There's no SIM tray on the exterior, but setting up eSIM is very easy. It has the redesigned kind of like squared off shape that was introduced with the 12, and it feels really good in hand as well. And to be honest, I prefer the 14 in hand. It feels more grippy, and the overall build just feels a lot nicer. The front and back of the 11 is glass. There's also aluminum for the bezel, and it's water resistant to a depth of 2 meters for up to 30 minutes. I have the black variant, and I love the glossy black finish, which I kind of miss. The 14 Pro, while still breakable, is a lot more durable. On the front, you get ceramic shield, which gives added protection to the screen. The bezels are a surgical grade stainless steel, and it's water resistant to a depth of 6 meters, so it's a little bit more, but the same time of 30 minutes. And I have the space black variant, and it's actually quite beautiful. One other thing to note about the build of the 14 Pro, and I think it's a big deal, is the MagSafe compatibility. I use cases and chargers as well. I'm currently working on a video that will share my top 5 MagSafe accessories that I've used, so make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that video. Moving on to the display. For the 11, it's 6.1 inches. It's a liquid retina HD display. It's also an LCD display with IPS technology. It has the traditional notch up at the top, and looking at the 14 Pro, you'll notice a massive difference. It's the same size in terms of screen size, but it has the Super Retina XDR display. It's an OLED display, and it has the ProMotion technology. The iPhone 14 Pro also has an always-on display, which is a really nice new feature, and the dynamic island appears at the top of the phone. It's actually a really nice and helpful feature as well. The display alone could be a reason to upgrade, in my opinion. I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty of pixels and contrast, but I'll provide a deep breakdown link of each device if you're curious. It'll be linked in the description. But if it's hard to tell on screen, the display is significantly better in every way on the 14 Pro. The display on the 11 almost looks yellow. When I'm in notes, you can see it kind of has like this hue of yellow instead of white, where on the 14 Pro, you get more of a truer white color. And if I go and put it on dark mode, you can compare the black screens as well. And it looks just a lot different in my opinion. Watching content on YouTube looks better on the 14 Pro, and movies are great as well. The images just look sharper and to me give off a truer color. Also outside, the 14 Pro is so much better. The 14 Pro offers 1600 nits peak brightness and 2000 nits peak brightness outdoors. The 11 only offers 625 nits max brightness. It's a huge difference. For safety, you have emergency SOS on both devices, which is great, but on the 14 Pro, you get emergency SOS via satellite and crash detection if you get in an accident. It's kind of insane what 3 years has done for the iPhone camera. I remember using the 11 and I was blown away, but this jump is actually really ridiculous. If you're thinking about upgrading to the iPhone 14 on the camera alone, that would be enough. But let's start with the 11. You get dual cameras on the back of the phone, a 12 megapixel main camera and a 12 megapixel wide camera. There's a true depth camera on the front. There's also 0.5x and 1x optical zoom. You do get night mode, and you can record in 4K at 24, 25, 30, and 60 FPS. as well as in HD. But when it comes to the 14 Pro, it's not even close. With this phone, you really get a pro camera system. There's a 48 megapixel main camera, a 12 megapixel ultra wide, and a 12 megapixel telephoto lens. You get 0.5x, 1x, 2x, and 3x optical zoom options. You can take night mode portraits. You get photographic styles, macro photography, Apple Pro RAW, and there's also the new photonic engine that's processing everything and just makes the photos look really good. You can record in cinematic mode, and now with the 14 Pro, you can record in 4K. You can also record in ProRes as well as macro video recording. The front camera also uses the photonic engine and deep fusion for better photos. The battery is obviously better on the 14 Pro. If you have an 11, you may want to check your battery health because a brand new battery for an 11 will get you 17 hours of video playback, which is still pretty good. So if you've noticed on your 11 that your battery's been bad, you may just need to get your battery replaced and you wouldn't have to upgrade if you don't want to. Now, I haven't been a fan of the iPhone 14 Pro battery compared to like the 13 Pro, maybe even the 12 Pro Max, but it is a better battery than this and you'll get more life out of it. You'll get about 23 hours of video playback, but the numbers are slightly skewed with the always-on display. For 5G, you do get 5G with the newer iPhone, so you'd get it with the iPhone 14 Pro, but to me, this is the biggest gimmick I've ever seen from cellular carriers. I haven't noticed any difference between 5G and 4G, to be honest. The 11 still has 4G. The chipset is still really strong on the 11 with the A13 chip. You're still able to get most of the newest releases in the latest iOS updates, and performance is still pretty good for normal use. On the 14 Pro, you get the A16 chip. The performance obviously is better as well, and there's no question about that, but for simple everyday tasks, the 11 is still great. While it has been a while since I've used the 11 on a daily basis, it's still a lovely phone. I'm not sure if today I'd be buying it as my phone of choice, but I know for a lot of people, it's still going to be a really good phone to choose. You can actually get it on Amazon for under $300, which is pretty good. And the 11, for some people, is going to be fantastic. If you're coming from anything before the iPhone 10, then it's a great upgrade. My experience with the 14 Pro has been great. Aside from the battery, I've enjoyed every feature I've mentioned in this video a lot. And actually, in my opinion, if you're looking to buy a new iPhone and you want to step into the Pro lineup, then this is the phone that I would go with. If you're on the 11 and wondering if it's a good upgrade, yeah, I actually do think it's a really good upgrade. This phone performs better than the iPhone 11 in every category, except for price, of course. The iPhone 14 Pro starts at $1,000, and if you've been holding out, check with your carrier because you may be able to get a really good deal and the price would come down significantly. Now, if you're still on the fence and not sure about the iPhone 14 Pro, then check out my video where I compare the 13 Pro versus the 14 Pro, and that may help you decide. You can click on it at the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, and if you enjoy my tech videos but haven't subscribed, go ahead and just click subscribe. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, guys. God bless, and I'll see you on the next video.